Test, test. All right. Wow, what a lively crowd. Well, as she mentioned, my name is Vic Camacho. I'm a principal technologist here at with Cohesity. And there was a slide before this, but we're going to go ahead and jump right in since we're already here. Most of you are on that side. My teammates are over there. So we're going to jump on this side so that you can see a little better. And so today, we're going to be talking about top 5 best practices to boost data resilience in a hybrid world. All right, so as we all know that at one point in time, data existed pretty much within the 4 walls of our data center, right? Whether that was 1 data center or 2 data centers, it all existed within the confines of our data centers. But today, that data can exist in a hybrid environment. It can exist in a multi-cloud environment. It can also live on the edge like remote offices and branch offices. In the 2022 study by Comprise, it was found that 89% of data is stored in hybrid or cloud storage. And that makes sense, right? As the adoption of the cloud continues to move forward, you're going to have more data residing in the cloud, which means we're going to be taking advantage of cloud storage. Now, this has made it pretty challenging to secure and manage that data. As I just mentioned, a lot of this data is moving there, and so what has happened is we have created data silos, and so the silos of data has made it challenging to manage all of that data, at least from a single UI perspective, right? So you need multiple platforms to be able to manage the data across these platforms. And so let's talk about some of the growing costs, right? These are complex architectures. Oftentimes you need multiple user interfaces to manage the data across these platforms. There's also the increased renewing costs. As you ingest more data into the cloud, your renewal costs are also going to go up. So the more data you use in the cloud, the more those renewal costs come out. And clearly, there's always expensive data migration, or if you need to migrate the data out, right, there's those egress charges that you're going to be responsible for. Another thing we have to consider are legacy backups. Legacy backups really were made to protect and back up the data on your local data centers. So they don't really do well with data sprawl, right? They don't manage the data that live in multiple cloud service providers or even in the remote locations like your branch offices. And so what can happen is that you can miss your service level agreements for your backups, which essentially means that it can affect your business continuity service level agreements. Right, that thing that allows your business to continue to operate under normal business operations. And so it increases your downtime when you can't recover efficiently. And then finally, because that data lives everywhere, this has increased the attack surface. So threat actors, bad actors know this. And because there are multiple ingress and egress routes, they are trying to take advantage of this and compromise your environment with things like ransomware. Right, and so we need to, and oftentimes there's no immutability there. So we need to be able to store our data in an immutable fashion. Sometimes there's the lack of worm or write once, read many. There's a lack of visibility because you don't have a user or a single user interface to manage everything. And that can make the recovery process very slow. And so how do we do this, right? So let's go ahead and talk about some best practices to boost your data resilience. So the first one is to protect your backup and your data and systems. We want a system that provides immutable backup snapshots so that in the case something like ransomware were to make its way in, there's nothing that it can do because that data is being housed in read-only fashion. We want to be able to use policy-based protection from deletion, right? So using things like role-based access controls to help defend against that. We want to be able to use data encryption that is FIPS certified, right? So the Federal Information Processing Standards, something that can help keep prying eyes from reading the data. And then we want air-gap data isolation, something that can fulfill your data isolation requirements. This is that clean copy of data that you keep far, far and away from your data center. So in the event that your local environment does become compromised, you have a clean copy of data that you can restore from, something that is not going to be compromised because your local environment has become compromised. Reduce the risk of unauthorized access. We want to use something that enables 2FA or MFA or multi-factor authentication, something that makes someone prove who they say they are through a secondary approval mechanism. We want monitored modification through some kind of quorum approval. I like to call this a secondary approval process so that not any one person can make changes to the system or recover bad or dirty data back into an environment that you may have already sanitized, right? And so having a second set of eyes of that will help reduce that risk. And then, as I mentioned earlier, granular role-based access control, or RBACs, to ensure that only the right people have access to the data in the first place. We want to stop encroachment and detect attacks. Now, this today is even more important, given the cybersecurity landscape that exists today, given that ransomware is still on the rise, right? We keep hearing about ransomware because they're having success with it. And so it's not going to go away anytime soon. What we can do is help detect it. We can use AI ML powered threat detection to help discover that kind of data within your snapshots, within your backups. Vulnerability discovery. We want to be able to use a system or leverage a system that can keep your environment from having compliance drift or configuration drift, right? So that you can continue to remain in a hardened state. And then data classification. If you don't know what data classification, that is the process of discovering sensitive data within your environment. It's been said that you can't protect what you don't know. So if you know what the sensitive data is, things like PHI, protected health information, that can fall under regulatory compliance like HIPAA. If you have point of sale systems, that falls under PCI DSS. So you have a myriad of compliances that we have to adhere to. And so understanding where your data is will help you to secure and protect that data. And then integrate with existing security systems. We want to be able to leverage a system that can integrate with SOAR, XDR, and SIEM solutions. We want to be able to have customizable integration. So utilizing a system that leverages open API architecture to help integrate with those solutions will become very handy here. We want value-added applications interoperability, so having an effective third marketplace to be able to leverage other solutions that ties in with the system is going to be very handy here. And so we want to be able to use these because this here is helping to bridge the gap between your IT operations and your security operations. Very often they have their own tool set, and so having this interoperability will allow them to work a little more closely together to help fight compromises like bad actors and ransomware. And then finally here, the last one is rapid recovery for your data at scale, right? So what do you do once you do find your data that's been compromised? We want to be able to recover in a very efficient and a very quick manner so that you can continue normal business operations. And we want to be able to do this in-place recovery, right? No need to go out and have other solutions to try to help you recover. The system should be able to handle it all within its own interface and the integrations with third parties. So, all of that we've just discussed is Cohesity at a glance, right? So let's take a look at this. So today we all know that we do data recovery, right? This is something that we've been doing, backup and recovery, disaster recovery. We've done this for some time. But today we've also added data classification and machine learning threat scanning. So we've been able to detect anomalous behavior with your data, but with our partnerships with Qualys, we're able to now do machine learning threat detection to look for indicators of compromise with your data, things for ransomware, to look and search for indicators of compromise for ransomware. And then data classification, as I mentioned earlier, is we're able to detect for sensitive data within those snapshots that we scan for today. Being able to locate that data so that you can do something intelligently, like moving it into a more secure environment to help protect and secure that data. And so all of this will help you with your business continuity service level agreements. We also provide data isolation with the solution that we call Fort Knox. It's our cyber vaulting solution that allows you to keep a clean and immutable copy of your data that is virtually air-gapped from your environment, so that in the case you do become compromised locally, you have a clean copy of your data that you can recover from. This is what I like to call the in case of emergency break glass. This is what we would use to recover. And so it's another form of data isolation. You do have tape backups as an example, but here you can do it from yourself and meet the demands of your own service level agreements and not have to wait for a driver to bring tapes back to you. Now, this is how we work with Cisco. So we have a really strong partnership with Cisco. We're here at Cisco Live today. And so we have, there we go. So leveraging this, right? So you may already be using Cisco in the environment today, in your environment today. So if you leverage if you're using Cohesity and leveraging Cohesity, you can leverage that partnership through our integration and to help you defend against ransomware. But also, if you do become compromised, through the partnership with Cohesity and Cisco Secure X as an example, you can help to avoid having to pay the ransom, because now we can help recover that data and do it in an intelligent manner that allows you to detect what is clean data versus what is not. And so what does this mean to you? It's going to lower your data costs, accelerate recovery, that's important, and increase data security and resilience. And so we have today's industry's only data security alliance. You can see some of the security partners that we have here, all leaders within the industry. And so we've partnered with these, and we have integrations and partnerships with all of them. I already mentioned Big ID and Qualys. Cisco is upper left there. And so through the use of this, we're able to provide you better services and get more return on your investment with something that may already exist within your environment. And that's it. So with that, I will thank you. If you have any questions, I'll be here. If you do want to see that that demo of SecureX with Cohesity, we're at booth 8812, and we're the big green banner over there. So feel free to stop by. We'll be conducting demos all day long. Thanks for your time. I'm here for questions if you have any. Thanks, everyone.